Zulay Kitchen. We are mostly about 80% of the company specializes or focuses mainly in e-commerce. So we sell kitchen products to consumers in the US, Canada, Europe, and we're now making inroads into Latin America, like Mexico, and we're trying to go into Mercado Libre and really start to get our products. But so we're an international company, and we've been around since 2015. I would say at least half of the company is remote. So we do a lot of outsourcing. We hire people from all places around the world, and we've really been trying to find a company that could help us simplify the recruitment process for people in international areas.
And why consider a nearshore agency or a staffing agency for this kind of to solve this issue?
Well, I mean, recruitment is very time consuming, right? And you have to be pretty good as a recruiter if you want to get talent that's going to stick around and you're not going to have all this turnover, right? As we grew, we got to the point where we really felt it necessary to be very clear about the core values, like what's the mission of the company, what are our core values, and then start to hire people based on that as a filter to filter out people that we really think are going to be a good fit. And it's not easy. It's time consuming. Like you put up a post, you get 20 applicants. That's 20 interviews. That's hours and hours and hours of your time trying to find the right talent, and turning it over to a company like Vintti that can help really filter out the candidates and help us find talent is really, it saves a lot of time for us. And the truth is, it wasn't until Vintti came along, like we've tried a couple of other companies. I'm really surprised with how you guys are running the team and just your culture and your values. Like, it's very clear that you guys are very, very different from other agencies. And part of it was also just the excitement of seeing what's possible and we're working with a new team and seeing what you guys offer. And so far, I'm pleasantly surprised for many, many reasons that we'll cover throughout this interview. But the main thing was just to save time and to really allow us to interview more people.
How did that go when you try other agencies? Like, how was your experience with those other agencies?
The truth is that in working with other agencies, usually the way it happened is I would get an email or like a message on LinkedIn or just someone trying to make that first contact, right? And then there was just nothing appealing about the way they were trying to pitch their service, right? And then I'm very, very picky about who I work with. So I would go on their website and I would obviously do some research on LinkedIn to find out who these people are, who's the company, right? The few times we went ahead, I feel like the focus is really on just putting a body in front of you, like just finding a person, trying to figure out, okay, how can I offer the candidates that I really feel are going to fit your culture. Even just the initial interview with Bahia and Agustina, and where they really asked questions that I really felt they cared to know exactly what kind of candidates we're looking for. And it's not just, the technical skills. And one of your team members, Bahia, who's incredible, she is absolutely she's a beast, dude. She is like you're so lucky to have her. I'm jealous that I wish I had a Bahia on my team. The depth of her experience and understanding of people, and she brought up this really good point, which was listen, are you going for a technical hire or are you going for a personality hire? She herself has hired a lot of people on the team and has a lot of experience, but it's just that it's like a personal care. The biggest difference I feel is just the personalized care. And when dealing with the team members in Vintti, I really feel they understand exactly what the needs are for me personally and the company. And they're always available. And it's just care, it's service. We live in a day and age where customer service and care is really declining, and I feel like Vintti's really bringing it back. I've had the chance to have some calls with Bahia to ask her for advice on how to proceed with a hire, and instead of trying to convince me to hire the person immediately, she brought up a really good point, which apparently you told her, Agustin, if there's any doubt, there's no doubt, right? So she brought up that point, and it was the best advice I've ever gotten. I was like, so she took time from her schedule to meet with me and answer all my questions. She wasn't pressuring me to make a hire. Her approach was just make the right hire. And we're going to offer as many candidates as you need in order for you to find the right person. And it's like, I've never experienced that.
Dig a bit deeper in the process part. What role did you hire through Vintti, and how was the process on your side? And I like this thing that you are mentioning about the experience that you lived with us, because that's something that we put a lot of focus in delivering the best services that we can to the client, and not just delivering people. We want to deliver your next hire. So for us, it's very important to understand your culture, not just the technical needs, not just the things that person are going to be doing in a day-to-day, but how this person needs to be in terms of attitude, in terms of how they communicate, in terms of how they are gonna interact with the culture of your company and with your team, right? So what was that process that you went through with our team that leads to a good hire at the end?
Good question. The process was extremely simple. The Vintti team really needed to know, what is my hiring process, right? Like, what kind of tests, or they requested me to send them over the company culture, and they wanted to know not just the technical details of the hire, but they also were very interested in more, what's a cultural fit for Zulay Kitchen? Like, how is Vintti going to find the right person that's not going to fit just the technical role or skills, but also culturally, are they going to fit in the company? So they were interested in knowing, like, do we have any ways to test this? We do have some tests, like we have a couple of tests, like a personality test and other tests, and they integrated these tests into the recruitment process. So when I get a candidate, I get all the data, right? I get a person, I get a video of the person, I get all the tests, and it's very easy for me to just, to make a judgment call very, very fast. We went through several rounds of candidates. We were able to maybe go through like 6 or 9 people without really finding the right person. And there was no pressure to like, well, you need to make a hiring decision now. Like, it was very nice to be able to out of 9 people, we interviewed about 3, and then we weren't fully closed. So then there was a new batch. And in those people, we found a person who we hired to be like a paralegal for a trademark portfolio. It's one of the best hires we've made remotely. She's amazing. And the Vintti team really, initially we were having some issues getting this person to, come on board, but then the Vintti team was really helping, okay, how can we make this happen? And we finally closed the individual to work with Zulay, and it's been going great. First experience really gives us a lot of confidence that the process works. It's a simple process, it's fast, it's efficient, and I just love that you guys really focus on, understanding our culture so that the people that you're talking to are going to be the right fit.
We have like a really strong gut feeling that when we introduce candidates that are culturally aligned with the client, the turnover also comes down a lot. We are now testing in our systems to see exposing culturally fit means less turnover, means less money you spend in recruiting.
I feel like it's even more important than if it's an in-office role. If it's a remote role, it's absolutely 100% has to be fully aligned culturally. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
What would you say to someone that is hesitant about hiring someone remotely offshore, nearshore, or outside of the US? What would you recommend him?
In Zulay Kitchens for the last 5 years, we've been outsourcing a lot of the positions that are available. And, unfortunately, at that time, the Latin American sort of region, there wasn't companies like Vintti that offered these services, right? And so we really kind of went into like places international countries that are on a very completely, like on a very different time zone. Countries which have great people. The problem is, number one, the schedule, right? Like to find a person that can be aligned and mirror a US company's schedule is very difficult. And after 2 or 3 years of a person in the Philippines working a graveyard shift, like they start to get like health problems, and it's really unfair. And then working remotely, not synced on the schedule, is really difficult because we have, you know, like a local team and we have an international team, and we need everybody to be sort of aligned and round to coordinate with each other around the same schedule. So the truth is, I mean, there's many reasons to outsource, right? I think one of the biggest ones is obviously your overhead. So if you're trying to scale your company and you're trying to stay profitable, and you're trying to build a team going from 5 to 25 people or from 50 to 200 people, obviously the way to stay more lean and continue to have good margins as a company is to outsource certain positions in the company. And there's absolutely, you know, there's incredible talent, and having now access to Latin America, to all the countries around Latin America who are on a very similar schedule, you know, like we're in the same time zone, and there's just a lot of talent out there. You can find positions for anything. You can find developers or designers or, you know, executive assistants. But the main thing, obviously, it's time consuming, and there's not a lot of resources where you can go and find people. So obviously having an agency help you and put people in front of you who have been vetted and checked out to see if it's a good cultural fit, it saves money, it saves time, and it allows the company to continue to scale profitably without having this crazy overheads.
What would you say to someone that is thinking about hiring Vintti services? Why should they hire Vintti to help them with the recruiting process?
The reason you guys need to hire Vintti, any company of any size should go to Vintti when it comes to recruitment services, is because Vintti is like, I mean, I want to work for Vintti. It's the kind of company that, in doing the research and exploring what Vintti does, what they stand for, and the level of service, it's a company that I wouldn't mind working for. Like, I would love to work for Vintti. One of the things I realized in talking to employees is they love to work at Vintti, right? Like, you can go on LinkedIn, everybody is happy to work there. It's a great team. So obviously, because they love what they're doing, they're just going to go the extra mile to really try to, you know, service their clients. And I've experienced that myself from every member of Vintti that I've had the opportunity to work with. It's fast, it's efficient. In terms of cost, it is very reasonably priced. I just love the model, and it's super simple. It's not complicated, it's simple, it's friendly. The way I was closed to work with Vintti by Bahia was one of the nicest conversations I've had through like a video chat with a person, that I just wanted to work with you guys. It was like, I was like, wow, like who are these people? In the beginning, it was really just a curiosity, like what can they deliver? There's multiple options, you know, like you can have Vintti do the full recruitment process and manage the candidates once they get hired. But there's also the option of, you know, just being given candidates. I think it's just going back to what I originally said. So we have a culture, and I feel like that Vintti's culture is very similar to Zulay Kitchen's culture, right? It's a culture where we care about people. We want people to be happy at work, because people who are happy at work do really good work. I have now seen the results, you know, which we found a really, really good person. I am very impressed with the candidate that we hired, because she's fully aligned with the company. It's her third or fourth day, and she's delivering amazing results. Just love the people of Vintti. And I like to work with a company and partner with a company that has similar values and that really values people, because that's what recruitment is about finding people that are going to be aligned, that the company can then exchange with and receive in exchange back, and then it can be a win-win situation for both. Your marketing is really good marketing, but it's genuine, it's real. I'm really happy, and we're obviously going to continue. Like, one of the things we really want to achieve is we're evaluating the current team and how can we upgrade, and really out of the 36 people we have remotely, we need to continue to align everybody with our values, and not everybody's aligned. So as time goes on, we will definitely refer you to our friends and other businesses, and and I really appreciate it.
This is great, Gabriel. This is great, and thank you very much for this time. This means a lot. And touching up the point of the conversation with the team of Vintti, or the interactions that you had, and especially this part that it's more human. That's what we try to do, because what we feel in every interaction is that everything is super transactional, and there is no connection. And in sales, the most important thing is to connect with the other person, to understand what they're pain and trying to help them solve that pain.
Keep doing what you're doing, man, because it's pretty fantastic for sure.